it's Amanda Watson from MrsWatsonEducation.com, my personal blog where I share with you, other teachers of the world, some tips and tricks I picked up along the way to make your lives just a little bit easier. We all know teaching's really hard and we need each other to survive, so this is just my way of trying to help out. So today's topic is making any worksheet into a digital and shareable worksheet, which will be very handy if you are going into digital teaching or online teaching or a blended learning approach come fall. Even if you just want to tech up some of your traditional in-person lessons, this is an easy thing to do. So I'm excited to share that with you. Very handy. So I'm going to share my screen and you can see I'm working with Google Drive. Now everything I'm going to be doing is through Google Drive today, but there is everything's comparable to Microsoft Office, Word, and PowerPoint. You may have to look in different places to get the same features, but there's not any complex features that you wouldn't probably already know how to use in those formats. Okay, so the first thing, I'm going to pull up my worksheet. Now, this could be any worksheet you've ever had for years and years and years. If you have it on a document, if you have it on a Microsoft Office Word document like that, it's all going to be here. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, I don't want to change anything. I've used this for years. There's nothing I need to change for it. I just need to make it digital, right? So easily, I'm going to just reduce my screen with Control minus, so I get the whole picture. And there's other ways you can do this. You can do screenshots and screen prints, all sorts of things. I'm going to then get my snipping tool that comes with most of your computers. There are some devices that do the same thing, and I'm going to go and get the field that I want to create a picture of. So I'm basically just taking a digital picture of a digital document, right, that you already have and use. Now I'm going to save this as, and I've done this a few times today, so trying to get the perfect video, which it will never be. I'm going to save it as worksheet, and so now I have a picture of my worksheet that I've been using forever. You can do the same thing, take a picture of a PDF file that you have and you've been using forever. So many different things. As long as you get a digital picture of it, this is going to be the same way to use it. Okay, so now that I have that, I didn't change anything. The simplest thing to do to make it digital is I'm going to go into my Google Slides, create a new one, or create a new PowerPoint. I hate all that custom comes with that, so I'm just going to get rid of that just because to get rid of it. Okay, get rid of that. I don't need that. I'm going to actually go Control plus. I could reset, but get my slides back to the sizing that you can see more details too. Now, here's the problem. When you start off with a Google Slides presentation or a PowerPoint presentation, the idea is you're going to make a presentation, have bullet points, pictures, transitions, right, to talk to your students about different topics. You got to change your thinking about this a little bit more. So if you're not already making your worksheets in PowerPoints, I'm going to show you this worksheet. All I did was I copied and pasted the text and inserted it into slides. So now I have the text that's editable. It's not a picture of it. Sorry, I'm digressing a little bit just to show you another cool feature. But the reason why I do all my worksheets now, all the things I create, I do through slides, is because now I have the more flexibility to make adjustments. I'm not bound by margins or formatting that docs and Word often have. Now there's great, for writing essays, that's the gold standard using those features there. But for creating something, I prefer this now just because I have more flexibility. If I want to add in a picture, let's say my Bitmoji picture, copy it, paste it in, I'm not bound by like how I would be in the regular document of the area, right? I don't know before I figured this out how many times I spent just trying to get a picture to do the thing I wanted it to do in the document. It was just kind of really eye-opening when I realized, oh, I could do the same thing but with more flexibility in a PowerPoint presentation or a slides presentation. Ta-da! Nothing changed. I could overlap. I could put that as close to the words as I want without it changing the whole format. So just a little pro tip right there. Okay, now let me go back to the whole point is making this without that, so I'll get rid of that, into a digital format. Okay, so again, this is a presentation. It's supposed to be projected on a slide or on a screen, right? Not really ideal for worksheets. So the first thing you need to do is go into your page setup. Okay, and you're going to go to custom page setup, and I have a portrait worksheet, so I'm going to type in 8.5 for 8.5 inches by 11 inches, and if it was landscape, I do 11 by 8.5, and that's going to make the presentation not be a projected presentation size, but something that you can print off easily. Now, easiest thing to do oops, sorry, would be to just upload the picture that you took of your worksheet. Remember when we did that screen print of the worksheet? Put it in there, bam, it's there as a picture. You have it there. Okay, now to make it editable, you go through, sorry, get a text box. I'm going to get my text box. I'm going to where the kids are typing in their responses. But I was in my sample worksheet. I gave quite a few options so you can see how easy this is. I like to put a red box around it so they see, hey, I have to do something here. That's your choice, right? So now they can type in my response here and submit it to you. When I do this, I can't spell response even. See, this is such a good video. I would like to, when I do this, pre-format it so the back of the, there's highlighting in white so that it's more visible and it won't kind of, no matter what the line spacing is behind there, it's visible. Anyways, but that's just a feature I like to do. I like to have it pre-formatted for my students to use, right? So that's editable. It's done. My next video will be about sharing this and getting to students, but I have so much more to teach you, okay? So hang on with me. That's just the basics. So the problem with this is now moving, right? I teach 6th graders. They have enough stresses in their life. I don't need them to be coming to me or emailing me saying, I lost the whole worksheet. I clicked delete. I was trying to click the box and then the whole thing went away and I don't know how to get it back. Okay. So to avoid catastrophe there, a simple thing you can do is this. Well, I'm going to actually duplicate this really quickly. You can select the background. So you're going to go background, choose it as an image. So instead of doing a cool picture for a background or a solid color, I'm going to make the image of the worksheet that we took my background. So I could get rid of the one I imported in, and now it's set as a background. I can't move it. My students won't be able to move it, delete it, mess it up, change something about it, and say, I didn't know about that, right? It's a fixed background. So now I can add in my text boxes, right? I could do all those things, make the back of it white so when they type in it's visible, right? That's done. Oh my goodness. For matching, you can do a few things. So you can do a little tiny text box in front of each one where they would put in the correct letter, right? So you could do that. Copy, right? You can do something else. So this is pretty cool. If you would like, you can use the side margins of your presentation, and that's just usable space, right? So I like those bright yellow boxes. You could put in an arrow so your students know you're helping them out with those right there, right? So this is going to be just added space for you to manipulate and help your students out a little bit more. Now, if you were to print this document, because we changed it to an 8.5 by 11 size, it's going to print on 8.5 by 11, just what you see in that actual editing field. So this is the second page where I didn't get rid of the text box. You can see that right there, right? So it's going to be whatever you decide, which is great, but none of the stuff on the sides outside of the presentation box is going to be visible. So this is a great place for you to add materials and helpful things for your students. You could add directions. You can add things like lines. I'm going to give them 3 options for matching. I'm going to give them that option. I'm going to give them that option, and it's not sized correctly. Of course, I'm going to also give them a straight line option. And now they can just drag and drop however they want when they get their copy, right? So that's really cool to make things more interactive feature for that. For fill in the blank, that's very simple. You just do your regular text box, mark it in red. There you go. They could fill in the blank there. I'll do both just because I want to and I can't leave something undone. The stresses of being a perfectionist. Anyways, there we go. I'm not even that good. Okay, so multiple choice, there's a few options you can do there for those, and I'm sure there's other ones I hadn't even thought about. So you could just do a text box where they write their answers, and they could type them in. Maybe you want that over here. Right? You can give them, just like you gave them the lines, you can give them a circle that you can adjust the size of. You can make it transparent in the middle. You can make it bright blue. And now they can add that to where they want. Obviously, that's still not sized correctly, but they could add that to where they want for the multiple choice questions. Very good. You could see that very easily. So those are some options there. On the bottom, because I know sometimes we like students getting creative and drawing a picture, this is where you have to kind of be a little bit more flexible for the times. You can easily add a box where you say, let me put that centered, find a picture online and paste it here, right? So instead of them drawing, they could search for digital pictures. You could teach them how to use digital drawing tools if you'd like, and want them to go through that. So those are all options to make your worksheet digital. And like I said before, they can't mess with the background. The background is fixed, right? So all they could see and do is putting in, and if you play, set it up so they just drag and drop things or just type things in, it's going to be very easy for your students. Now I'm going to show you another cool feature. If let's say I've got this worksheet, right, and I like it, I've used this for years, but now I've realized, okay, I'm digital. Digital changes things a bit because they're turning it into me, and that's going to be my next video on how I figured out ways to turn things in. There's a lot of other ways, so that's just not the one way. So now you can, let's say I brought in my picture, right? I know what I want it to look like, but I want to fix a few things, right? I want to change the margins down a little bit or expand them however I want. I want to get rid of the text box right there. Maybe I want to write in new directions there for them to do. I could put in a QR code or a link, something, right? Anything I want to do to make it part of the new fixed background. This is very simple, okay? So I edit as I need to. I want it to be my new fixed background, so this is what I do. I don't know how to do this in PowerPoint, but I'm sure there's a way. I'm going to go into File, Download it as a JPEG. So now this made this slide, all the fixes I did to it, as a picture, right? I'll show you what that looks like. It's a picture now, see? All the fixes, all the things I changed is as a set picture. And now I can go back, choose the image, browse it, go into my downloads. It's going to be untitled presentation, but I didn't name my presentation. Right there. And now I can get rid of that. I can get rid of all the stuff, and it is now my background with all the adjustments I made for digital learning. And then I could go in and add all the boxes I wanted to. Control here, right? Everything's pretty much, oh, I need to just shift it a little bit. But anyways, same idea, right? It's very easy. So I hope you use this and go run with it, because there's so many things you can do for your students. You don't have to recreate the wheel all the time. Of course, I'm still going to be using some Nearpods. I'm going to be doing a variety of things. If I don't even know how school's going to progress yet, I'm just preparing ahead of time. But there's so many things you can do. This is just another tool in your toolbox that you can use to help yourself out, help your students out. I love the side features. I think this is a really cool part of it as well. My next video is all about how to share this with students and hopefully get it back for grading. Like I said, there's a lot of different ways to do that, but I'll talk about that more in the video. So that's kind of it for now. I hope you found this useful. I hope you can use it in the future for a long time going forward, and I hope it makes things a little bit easier for you. Like I said, it's hard to be a teacher. So if you want to see more videos and read through more blogs, I just started a few weeks ago, but I have a lot of content already. I'm adding more. I have so many great ideas I want to share. So please go to my blog, mrswatsoneducation.com, to see those that are there, and you can subscribe to see the new ones that are coming in. Or you can follow me on any of my social medias. I have a lot. You could search at Mrs. Watson Education, or on Twitter it's Mrs. Watson Ed, because it was too long with education. But anyways, hopefully that helped. I hope I'll see you again soon. Bye.